All right, welcome to the Spoiler Kings. We're doing another Oscar movie this week. This episode, we're doing Power of the Dog, starring Benedict Cumberbatch, Kristen Dunst. Kristen Dunst. How do you pronounce her first name?
Kristen Dunst.
Yeah.
Her
And
husband.
Yeah, I didn't know that was her real life husband.
Who's that? The guy who played George.
Yeah, he called him Fatso.
Yeah,
Jesse Plemons, but he called him Fatso.
Jesse Clemens.
Yeah, I was like, that's her husband. I saw him because I saw in the article that they're married, and then I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense. That's why they got chemistry. They got kids together. They've been together for so long, but I was like, that's a really terrible match couple. Like that doesn't make any sense at all.
You know what? Jess said the same thing yesterday. She told me that they were married. I'm like, oh, that's cool, you know. And she's like, yeah, good for him. I'm like, good for him. What the fuck? I'm like, what do you mean good for him? So no, it's because Kristen always dated these nice, handsome guys, and then she ended up with him. I'm like, what the fuck? How do you know he's not just a legit nice man? You know,
that's exactly what it is. He's just a nice guy. That's exactly it.
Yeah. So
I mean, do you see some of his older pictures? I mean, if you see some of his older pictures, you know, he's not an unattractive guy. You
know, no.
There's let me see. Really? Yeah, so here's this picture I just literally found. I think it's him. You can tell, but it's also very old.
Even old.
Bring this up.
I have a hard time believing. No, yeah, he's him. He's still pretty not attractive.
He's pretty. He's pretty not attractive. That's funny.
Yeah. I know you go from that to, you know.
Well, he gained some weight.
Yeah, I mean that's natural, but he was heading down that not attractive road already. So it's like you saw what was coming.
Oh, jeez.
But we all gained weight.
Yeah, I mean this guy, you know, he played really good on Game Night.
Game Night.
He was a cop, and then what other movie? I don't know.
In Jungle Cruise. He was the German bad guy in Jungle Cruise with that horrible German accent. But
yeah, and he was also in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so, I mean, he's been around.
Yeah, he's been around in a lot of movies. Like he was in Friday Night Lights, wasn't he? Like he was, yeah.
I don't remember.
Friday Nights. No, I don't remember that either.
I mean, if he was, it would definitely look like the older pictures.
I think he was in Varsity Blues. Definitely was Varsity Blues, and that.
I'm looking at his list. I don't
think he was in Varsity Blues.
Oh yeah, he was. He's credited in Varsity Blues.
Really?
I had to be in Varsity Blues. I remember him being there.
Yeah, he's got the credit. But yeah. I mean, Breaking Bad is definitely the stuff that's really got him big. Antlers is a new one. Jungle Cruise. You know, Friday Night Lights, the TV show. I guess he's in.
Okay. Okay.
Not the movie.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. So he's not even in it that much, and not as much as I expected.
No.
So I watched this movie and I asked Bryon, I'm like, did he watched it? And he said no. And he asked me, how did you like it? And I said, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this movie. I think I kind of got it now. But it was just like all over the place for me. You know, not in a bad way, where licorice pizza was like all over the place where I'm like, I don't care. This one was just like, they're doing this and they're doing this. He's an asshole. He's doing this now. And I'm just like, I was just intrigued the whole time with it.
Yeah, Licorice Pizza had a younger version of Jesse Plemons. You know,
Philip C. Hoffman's son.
Yes. I don't know how. I mean, I want to say I like it, but there's a lot of questions to it. I mean, I watched it when I came from work, and that was like one of the first movies I put in, and I watched it, and then I'm nodding off, where to the point where I'm like, okay, wait, I gotta rewind it and gotta watch everything again. So I did. I was just as confused the second time as I was in the first.
Yeah.
So and then I don't know,
That's-
man. I don't know. Do I like it? You find out later in the show.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
You know
but
what?
I'm,
It's the same
Stay
thing
tuned,
watching
folks. Stay tuned.
I finished it. I immediately texted Kramer. I was like, "What the f? What did just happen? That's crazy." Because I
Yes.
got exactly what was going on, and I knew it was foreshadowing stuff because the rabbit is what gave me. I was like, "This guy, he's he's something different about him. He is thoughtful. He is meticulous. He's not uncaring. Like he doesn't see things as people and things like that." So I was like, "Wow!" Now you heard his mom, the only person that raised him all this time.
yeah.
He's gonna do something bad to you. But then it confused me because I thought that he was really going for it. Well, Phil, I thought everything was going well, and I was like, "All right, so what's happening?" And then it happened when he went on to that up to the mountain. When they told him how to ride, he rode up to the mountain and found a diseased cow. And I was like, "Holy crap! He's going to get him." He's going to get him because he said he had anthrax. They talked about anthrax all the time, and you saw the diseased cattle. And you saw I was like, "Wow!" And he has gloves on. I was like, "Why is he wearing gloves?" And I was like, "I know what he's going to do." I was like, "What the f?"
Yeah.
But how's he
See,
going to get it done?
I was like that too, but also I was like, he wants to be a doctor, surgeons, where he even told his mom, like, I need to do this, and so I'm like, does he know, or is he just practicing? I mean, I was leaning more towards like he's gonna do something messed up, but also part of me was like, I don't know, like, is he smart enough? Because they make him a little off,
Yeah.
like parts of the movie. I'm like,
Well,
he has to be on the spectrum somehow,
He's in
somewhere.
medical school. He's in
Yeah,
medical school, so he's smart.
Yeah.
Just
yeah,
I agree, he's definitely on the spectrum. But
yeah.
I think the
He has
biggest
little
thing for him
fidgets.
was when he found that gay porn magazine stash. He put it all together and
Yeah.
he made his plan. And that was like messed up that he was able to make the plan, and he did it so well that Phil, about to die, is still trying to find him and give him the rope because he had
Yeah.
that much of a connection with Phil. How did you do that in 3 months? He is a sociopath. That's the word I was looking for. He's a
Mhm.
sociopath. And I was like, wow. And he got
Well,
Phil. He
yeah.
got Phil.
I think he accidentally got Phil. I'm leaning on the part where he accidentally got him instead of deliberately or purposely got him because he told him, he's like, "Hey, I found skin, a hide or whatever.
Yeah.
I found some. You can have it." And he was like all happy and gracious, and he's like, "Let's go get it or whatever." So I guess he just got it for him, and I guess he did the carving or whatever, or he protected himself with gloves, and Phil didn't never use gloves. So he kind of knew that, except for when he rode, he used it. But other than that, I think he accidentally gave it to him and accidentally killed Phil.
Oh, hell no.
I don't think
Peter
it was
did
an
that on
accident.
purpose. Peter,
Yeah.
Peter did that on purpose, and he planned it out perfectly. And
Okay.
and I think his mom helped him out. She didn't know about the hide stuff, but when she gave away the hides, Peter jumped at it. He's like, "I got it." But he was
Hmm.
going to offer it to him anyway because he was finishing up. He was like, "Hey, I got one hide. Can you finish it up with that?" But it made it much easier when they had no more hide left, and then he
Yeah.
could deliberately give it to him and know what's going to happen. That's why he didn't even come out of his room. He didn't even worry about when Phil was coming out there. Oh, we gotta go get him, and they're trying to drag him to the doctor. He didn't even come out of his room. He didn't go to the funeral. He didn't do none of that stuff. He knew
Mm.
exactly what he was doing. And then you saw him come back to the funeral, and then at the funeral, his brother George and their parents finally he's like, okay, let's do this Christmas now because he don't have to worry about Phil come messing it up. And then you see his mom and mom no longer drunk and George kissing and being happy all over again. So by Phil dying, he made everyone happy. And that was all he was set out to make sure his mom was happy. And he'll do whatever it took. And that's why he planned all this stuff out. Because he even said, I love everyone here except for one guy. And he told you that at the
Mhm.
beginning. And but
Even
when he
in
found
the
out he was born, he's like, "Oh, I realized I can get close to him through this because this is his secret."
Right.
Yeah. Even in the very, very beginning, they tell you exactly when it's just like a black screen and it says like, "Oh, a son needs to protect his mother," blah blah blah. That little monologue
Yeah.
or dialogue or whatever.
Yeah.
And the start of it, I'm like, oh, and I forgot about it until the end when he starts reading the Bible passage of the power of the dog. But I once that whole scene where Phil is making the hide and they're doing that weird discussion about like being naked and then they're smoking the cigarettes. I was like, oh, he's doing this on purpose. Like he's literally watching Phil die. Like, you know, I was just like, what the? And then if you notice, he didn't give Phil the cigarette. He's like, oh no, I'll put it to your mouth. You know, and it was also kind of like leading him in, but he also knew, he goes, no, you can't touch this. Like not with your hands, not with your dirty hands. Yeah.
Exactly.
And so like that whole conversation, I was like glued to my screen. I'm like, what is going on? I was like,
Yeah, I know. I thought it was
because it
gonna
was
be
so awkward.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like, of course, the turn nasty. I thought it was gonna be like another Brokeback Mountain scene or something. And then they're like, "Oh, where's Phil? Oh, he's not at breakfast." And his brother goes upstairs. I'm expecting both of them to be in bed or something. And then next thing you know, he's like, "Oh, what happened to your hand? You got a cut." And then, yeah, next thing you know, he's all droggy and shit. I'm like, "Wait, oh, fuck." So that's what happened.
Yeah, so I
And then
saw that.
yeah,
After
I didn't see it until right at the very end when his brother woke him up and he's like, "Oh, droggy." I'm like, "What is he, drugged or drunk?" But no, it was
And
He
then
was
once again,
sick.
Peter was the only one that knew, so he could have told them, and they possibly could have saved him, right? But no, he kept his mouth shut. He didn't wasn't around at all. Didn't want anyone to see him there. It
right.
was amazing. Like he did
Yeah.
the most bogus thing I've ever seen in my life. That was so
Yeah. I mean, at the beginning, he's such an asshole to Peter.
Yeah.
And I think now that you go back and look at it, because there was a Nightmare Alley, it was also like this girl, the woman, Kate Blanchett's character, you know, wants revenge to the point where like she destroys his life. And I feel like that's what Peter did in this one. He's like, oh, you made me not feel good. You made my mom cry. I'm gonna get you. But you don't know that until after the movie's over and you start thinking about it. That's why like it took me like a legit like 2 days to really sit and think about this movie to have certain feelings about it, you know, because I was like Fredo, a lot of parts where I was like, well, did he not know what he was doing and it just happened, or did he plan it? But then when Bryon said the other day and he told me that he baited him, and I'm like, really? But I'm like, oh yeah, there's that scene where all the guys are making fun of him, you know, calling him all these slurs, and he's wearing his fancy pants, you know, his fancy pants or whatever, and he walks in front of them, you know, and he's like holding his hips and shit. I was like, did he like bait him? Because at that point he already knows about the Bronco Henry magazines. So, and I was like, shit,
like what happened with Bronco
he
Henry
put it all together.
Oh, exactly.
But it's like so psychological. It's like, oh, this guy probably molested Phil when Phil was younger. That's what I got from it, was like that Phil was molested. Why he didn't like taking baths around the other guys. He had his own little hidden pond and the way he acted. So he's like, I'm gonna use his trauma because usually that kind of continues, and I'm gonna let him think he's gonna molest me.
And
kind
Phil
of thing.
totally fell for it because Bronco is his idol, and he was like, the same thing, the same age happened to me. I could do it with him. This is the same story. I was just like him. And little did he know that Peter was looking like, you ain't nothing like me, and you never gonna get anything from me. But gotcha. It was just vicious. I couldn't believe that someone would do that to somebody else. So, but you gotta remember how he treated him and treated his mom. His mom became an alcoholic because of it.
Yeah.
And he saw that. He saw the transformation.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. It was pretty nuts. So we talked about, I guess, like that was all like the good stuff we liked. Any like bad things that you just didn't like, you know, either story wise, acting wise, or whatever.
The music. I think sometimes the music in there was a little bit too much. I understand music sets a tone and mood. There was only a couple scenes that I liked the music was there was confusion and then you hear all these violins and all this
Mm.
rumble jumble and that was okay. But the other scenes where it was too much, like even talking while they were talking while the music was playing, you kind of had to listen a little bit closely because the music was a little bit too loud for my taste. And yeah, I just think the music kind of downed it down, dumbed it down a bit.
So instead of being an extra character, it was almost a hindrance in the movie.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
I kind of agree with that. I didn't really think about it, but then there were parts where I was like what they say because the music was almost in the way.
right.
Yeah, I see that. Anything else?
Besides the story, I mean, the end. I thought the story was just really bland. I mean, as you said, you didn't know what the hell was going on. I didn't care about anything that was going on until the end, where I'm like, oh, I get what they're going, where they're going for it. But in the beginning and middle, I was like, who gives a crap?
Right.
Why are we worrying about this stuff so much? And I felt like it was not long, but it was just boring, unentertaining in a couple of parts. And then, I mean, but the ending, the reveal is great. The reveal was great. It's probably going to win everything because people didn't see it coming. But and Benedict Cumberbatch, he has the worst cowboy. It's just sound like what? Like you still sound British. What are you talking about? You just stop. Stop. What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's
Every single time he said Bronco Henry, he's like, "Yeah, my idol, Bronco Henry." You know, it's like, why are you saying it like that?
Yeah.
It's so annoying. So
I guess he couldn't say Bronco Henry like regular without his accent.
It's so well because for us, like we'll like especially like from Chicago, we drop certain letters, make them sound like stuff. So like Henry, you know, like and he's just like Henry, you know, it's like he would like extra. I was like, oh yeah, but
I mean, but it was kind of painful to watch. Just and listen to him talk. I'm like, no cowboy will ever sound like that. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. That was one thing that and I think that's just Cumberbatch. Like for me, I hear it when he does Doctor Strange. You know, like my girlfriend every time always goes, "My name is Dr. Stephen Strange." Like he just so over enunciates everything. But damn it, if he's not a great actor. Like in Sherlock, he's amazing. You know, like that is probably the best version of Sherlock ever. You know, and he just crushes it. But let him be British. You know,
exactly. Let him be British. Stop trying to be an old American cowboy. Doesn't make any sense. Stop. Just stop.
Yeah. But I'm that's why, like for me, like after I was done watching, I was like, I don't know how I feel about it because there was parts that were like so boring where I almost like fell asleep. I remember grabbing my phone at one point. I'm like, I need to put this down and focus. But then there's parts that I was so glued to the screen where I was like on every single like stare at each other. I'm like looking like, what's that mean? What does that mean? So it's like it literally like this up and down with this, you know, like the beginning was kind of good with him being an asshole, and then it got a little blah, and then yeah, you know, once the kid came back from school, you know, you can start seeing it, and then it build up, you know. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Well, since we're already kind of there, anything else before we do our reviews on it or our ratings? I'm sorry.
Dude, George was terrible. I mean, he was perfect. I mean, he just was a terrible character. I mean, like he wasn't boring. Bill. He was just totally boring. And then how did you even get a girl? I didn't understand. Like, it didn't make sense. Like, you know, he had nothing about him that was good. And then even when he had her, he's like, why are you making her play the piano? How about you just shut the hell up and let her tell it she don't want to do it? So stop. Like, I wouldn't have got a mini grand piano. I already told you I don't know how to do show tunes. Oh well, here's a mini grand piano. Like, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I agree. He was one of the just bland. Like he didn't do anything good or bad. He was just just there. Like even when he was like he never had any emotion. You know, even like when she got rid of all the hides and she's like, she's sick, Phil. I was like, and he's like yelling at him, and he goes, oh, she's crazy. And he's like, she's sick. Like, we need help. What do you want to do? It's like he had no emotions, you know, and I don't know. It was just
say anything about her drinking. Because I mean, you know, when someone's around alcohol all the time, you can smell it. I mean, nothing. There's nothing to him. And I just was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that was done on purpose or not, but it was just, yeah. Anything else, Fredo?
No, I was just thinking about Phil. Yeah, I don't know if it's Jesse Plemons or Gregory that made it so bland. But you're right. Your guys are right. Because there is a lot of times where he was boring. He was vanilla. And
yeah, vanilla.
Yeah. So I guess it was something they didn't show a lot of their interactions, a lot of their how he wooed her, but by helping her with the salad and going out there, hey guys, hey, I guess I'm the narrator.
I understood that.
Yeah, I guess that she looked and she like, oh my god, you know, oh my god. I guess
that's all it took.
I guess that's all it took. You know,
Yeah.
that's why, like Jess's words. Oh, good for him. So again, twice in real life and in the movie.
That's funny. That's funny. But all right, let's do our official rating. So here on the Spoiler Kings, we have our own rating system. We do now means drop everything, go check it out right now. It's that good. Later means whenever you get a chance. If you're washing dishes, stream it, wait till it comes out on streaming, and then never means don't even waste your time. Don't even bother. So we'll start with Fredo and come back around. So what do you think about it, Fredo?
I'm gonna give it a later. It's not a movie that you want to go now, and it's not that much because it is a little bit. There's a little bit more vanilla around there. The storyline shows on, and there's a part where 30 seconds of the movie they actually show a bunch of horses for no reason. So, and so I don't want to say never because it's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's a really good movie, and I don't want to say never because you probably get it, and if you like the little plot twist and like, oh shit, come out of left field kind of stories, this is one of them. That's why I say later.
Mm-hmm. What you got, Bryon?
Acting was pretty good. The story was okay. The tempo of it was a little bit wanting. Phil and his banjo was unnecessary. So I mean, and the whole thing about him getting the rope was kind of weird. But overall, I mean, it was a good movie, but it's definitely a later. It's one of those movies you watch on a Sunday afternoon when there's no football and you watch everything on your queue. Go ahead and put this movie in. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and watch this. Go ahead, Netflix, show me. That's when you do it. It's just not one of those. I'm gonna stop everything and go to the movie theater and see it. If I would saw this in the movie theater, I would have left 45 minutes into it.
Yeah, before it got good.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
definitely late.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm right there. Excuse me. I'm right there with you guys with it. It's a later for me as well. The ending though, man. If you can just cut the second half of the ending, that's a now. But the first half of the movie is not. It's probably not worth it because it was. I get it trying to set it up, but it didn't need to be like 45 minutes. You could have. This could have easily been an hour and 45-minute movie. It didn't need to be over 2 hours. 2 hours and like 15 minutes or whatever. So I mean, yeah. But the ending was really, really good. But everything else was kind of like, But and I don't want to repeat, but I agree with both of what you guys said. But yeah, I mean, it's on Netflix, so everyone already has Netflix, so I would definitely give it a watch whenever you can. But yeah, you don't need to drop what you're doing and go watch it right now.
Right.
One other thing, Kirsten Dunst, her character, I didn't care about Rose at all. I was like, she was drunk. I was like, who cares? Like, what has she done that's like meant anything to me in this movie. Like, what? Like, I saw Phil treating her bad. I was like, man, that's messed up. Why are you treating her so bad? But I was like, I really don't care because she's not a main character or anything. She hasn't done anything to connect with anyone. So just like, oh, okay, she's coming to a tough situation and she's dealing with his brother. Okay, well, man, I mean, maybe she had alcoholic tendencies already. I don't know. You know, I didn't care about her though, so I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, I mean, the only connection she had was to Phil, and it was of hatred. So yeah, but
even her son, it was weird. It was like, like yeah, it's her son. Yeah. She likes him, but it's still kind of like, yeah, maybe she doesn't care about him that much.
Yeah. And then real quick, Rotten Tomatoes, the tomato meter, which is the critics, give it a 94%, which is super. That's pretty high. Anything over 90 is really, really good. And then the audience has fewer than 50 verified ratings. So less than 50 people actually voted on this thing, and it's at 76%. So it's definitely one of those artsy. It's not a full artsy fartsy kind of film that I always say it is, but definitely was more geared towards critics than normal people, I guess.
Yeah.
But
for the art of it, not for the thing.
yeah. And then so we're ranking where we put everything. We have one movie left. We have Dune left. Where are you guys gonna put Power of the Dog on your list?
I got number 3.
Okay.
Power of the Dog
as of right now.
As of right now.
Yeah.
Number 3. So it's gonna be between Don't Look Up and Coda. Well, actually, now that I look at this list, it's gonna be number 4. Coda is gonna be number 3, and Power of the Dog is gonna be 4.
Yeah, that's exactly how I have it too. Well, I have King Richard, Coda, Don't Look Up, Power of the Dog. That's my top 4 as of right now.
And I have King Richard, Don't Look Up, Coda, and Power of the Dog.
So there you go. Yeah.
So
yeah. And I know, Bryon, you haven't been on all the shows, so I know you haven't had your list of movies.
I was like, one thing I heard is Coda's really, really good. I've seen King Richard. I was blown away by King Richard.
Yeah.
It's not. It's the best actor, and I felt like it's the best movie too. Like I enjoyed watching the movie. So
yeah. And then one last thing before we go, let's see. Power of the Dog is up for Best Picture, obviously, while we're doing it. Directing, cinematography, the leading role with Benedict Cumberbatch, and supporting role, Jesse Plemons is up for an Oscar for supporting actor.
Oh, I like that.
Really? An Oscar? Jesse Plemons is up for an Oscar for what he did?
Yeah.
For George?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Kristen Dunst is up for Best Supporting Actress for this movie.
Okay.
The two people were like, but no, they're up for it.
I thought Cody McPhee was better than him. I thought that was what he did was pretty awesome. That whole thing was good, but
I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised. I take it back. He is there. Him and Jesse Plemons are both up for Best Supporting Role.
Who?
The son,
Peter?
Cody's
smit-mcphee.
Yes, smit-mcphee.
Smite.
Yeah.
Okay, is he really that pale in real life?
You gotta look at pictures of him. Really,
I'm afraid to. I'm thinking
it looks even strange,
dude. I'm afraid to look up, and then he's standing right next to Slender Man. So this guy is like, I'm like freaking out. Should I adjust the tone and brightness on my TV? give the poor guy, some color.
You know where we did see him is he was Nightcrawler in one of the versions.
Really?
There you go.
Oh wow!
Look at you. So
I'm not sure which one that's one of the newer ones, I think, but
he's so weird looking that he's Nightcrawler. All they did is paint his face blue.
Look, Mom actually got some color now.
Yeah, right.
Blue.
but yeah, nothing major, else. I guess he might be a bad guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
He passed on being the chameleon in Kraven the Hunter or movie, which is who passes that up? But yeah,
because he had the
Yeah,
power of
he's-
the dog.
yeah, I guess so. But
He see who laughs last when he wins the Oscar.
I mean, he definitely deserves it more than Jesse Plemons. I mean, who else is up for that role is Ciarán Hinds from Belfast, is which I'm not sure. I think that's the old man from Belfast, the grandfather. Troy Kuster from Coda, which I believe is the brother in the movie. J.K. Simmons for being the Ricardos, and then these two guys from Power of the Dog.
He has a good chance of winning.
He has a very good chance of winning.
Yeah.
I mean, J.K. Simmons has the name behind him because it's J.K. Simmons, but he wasn't that good in the movie. He was kind of just, you know. But I think Troy, from Coda, should probably win it. But I don't know. You know how Oscars are.
Yeah.
If this wins Best Picture, I just
No
feel
Man
like
Land. Fuck.
makes sense for him.
Yeah. But yeah, so still Nomadland. I know.
Yeah,
It was
so
horrible. So bad. I hated that movie. But cool. That is it for this one. We have one more movie left. We have Dune left, which is going to come out pretty soon, probably the day after this, and then that's it. Then we got the Oscars coming up on March 27th, and then we'll probably do one more after the Oscars and be angry that Power of the Dog won everything or Licorice Pizza won everything.
Oh God,
those are the two movies that they're saying is going to win everything. Which, Licorice Pizza.
I'm a protest.
The Academy. We need blue blood in the Academy. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah, if Licorice Pizza wins a lot, I'm gonna forever ban black licorice in my life. Not a racial joke. Not a racial joke. I'm serious.
That's okay. Black people don't like licorice.
All right. But cool. Thank you guys for checking us out. Make sure you like, subscribe, let us know how you liked Power of the Dog. If you're gonna watch it, if you already watched it, what you thought about it. And leave a comment and we will see you guys in the next video. Later.
Have a good one, guys.